They rose fast, burned bright, then vanished. From Cutting Crew's chart-topping tragedy to Soft Cell's scandalous synth hit, these bands ruled the 80s. Here are 20 forgotten rock one-hit wonders, and the last entry will stun you. Bonus inside. Number 20, Limahl, Neverending Story. Two voices, Limahl's and Beth Anderson's, float through your nostalgia, reawakening 1984's fantasy magic. He'd just broken away from Kajagoogoo's synth-pop shimmer when Giorgio Moroder, the reigning god of electronic music, tapped him for the film's theme. Released September 24, 1984, this hypnotic synth-pop anthem, co-written by Moroder and Keith Forsey, shoots to number 1 in Sweden, Norway, and Spain, number 4 in the UK, and number 6 on US adult contemporary charts. French-speaking fans? There's a French version, L'Histoire sans fin, featuring Anne Calvert. Rare exclusivity not every fan knows. Years later, Stranger Things revives it. YouTube views surge 800%, Spotify streams climb 825% overnight. Pure proof this story never really ended. What's the twist in that renewed frame? And why did Moroder pass on Eurovision royalty Daniel in favor of Limahl? That's coming later. This is just the chord that opens a symphony of surprises. Next is number 19, Nena, 99 Luftballons.
One by one they were gone, back at base, box in the software flat.
Imagine 99 red balloons floating over Berlin in 1983. What could possibly go wrong? When German band Nena released 99 Luftballons, Cold War tensions made every lyric feel like prophecy. Inspired after guitarist Carlo Carges saw balloons released at a Rolling Stones concert drifting toward the Berlin Wall, the song became a symbolic anti-nuclear plea.
99 decisions tree, 99 ministers meet to worry.
By March 1984, it hit number 1 in West Germany, Canada, and Australia, and astonishingly reached number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100, despite being sung entirely in German. The rare English version, 99 Red Balloons, peaked lower in the US, proving the world didn't need translation to feel the fear. What's fascinating is that NATO commanders reportedly discussed the song in briefings. It resonated that deeply. Today, its cultural aftershocks still ripple. But if one anti-war anthem could terrify governments, what quirky new wave hit could scandalize America's radio censors next? Onward to number 18, Sneaker. More than just the two of us.
When all your love is meant for me, then you're the wind.
Two chords of West Coast sunshine crash gently into your memory. Ever wonder how soft rock can slip so quietly into legend? In October 1981, Los Angeles-based band Sneaker, influenced by the Eagles and Steely Dan, drops their debut album, including the silky track More Than Just the Two of Us. Powered by vocals from Mitch Crane and keyboards from Michael Carey Schneider, it soars to number 34 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 17 on adult contemporary charts, a rare feat for a newcomer under a tiny indie label.
More than just the two of us, and we just have to keep.
Produced by Jeff Skunk Baxter, touring with Steely Dan's guitarist, that added instant credibility few newcomers earned. For a band active from just 1973 to 1983, that shining chart slice feels almost accidental, and yet their names live in vinyl lore. But did they fade because of label limits, or an industry twist you'd never guess? Just around the bend. Let's slide into number 17, The Waitresses, I Know What Boys Like.
I know what boys like, I know what guys want, I see them looking.
A sarcastic quip becomes a synth-pop anthem. Ever thought a barroom introduction could birth a one-hit legacy? In 1980, Chris Butler writes this sneering gem during his days in Tin Huey. He re-records it with Patty Donahue, an actual waitress he found by shouting across a bar when he forms the Waitresses. Released with their debut album, Wasn't Tomorrow Wonderful, on January 11th, 1982, the track climbs to number 62 on the Billboard Hot 100 by late May and hits number 14 in Australia, while the album itself peaks at number 41 on the Billboard 200.
What boys like, I know what guys want, I know what boys like.
VH1 later dubs it the 82nd greatest one-hit wonder ever, a stat many still don't know. But why does a song born of sarcasm and irony sound so achingly sincere? And what's the gender flip twist behind its creation? That's just the surface. Rolling into number 16, Autograph, Turn Up the Radio.
Turn it down. It's when I'm sleeping low.
What happens when a band forms on a dare and ends up blasting across MTV? Autograph's Turn Up the Radio wasn't just loud, it was lightning in a bottle. Released in 1984 from their debut album Sign In Please, the song rockets to number 29 on the Billboard Hot 100 and climbs even higher on rock radio. MTV spins its flashy video non-stop, pushing sales past 500,000 copies, earning gold status within a year. Fun fact, they recorded it last minute at RCA almost as filler. Instead, it became the anthem every teenage car stereo blasted at max volume. Yet, despite touring with Van Halen in '84, Autograph never cracked the charts again. Why does one perfect song immortalize a band while dozens of others vanish? The answer lurks in glam metal's excess and timing. Now glowing at number 15, Aldo Nova, Fantasy.
Neon lights shining brightly make a rainy night.
Imagine hearing a laser-shot synth and thinking, that's my anthem. Montreal-born Aldo Caparuccio, under the stage name Aldo Nova, blows into 1982 with Fantasy. His debut single that rockets to number 23 on the Billboard Hot 100, hits number 3 on mainstream rock, and propels the Aldo Nova album to number 8 on the Billboard 200. Gold by May 14th, platinum by February 14th, 1989, double platinum by December 5th, 1994. The video kicks off like a sci-fi western. He arrives in a helicopter dressed in a leopard jumpsuit, blasting a laser from his guitar to open a locked door. Nova wrote the song after strolling through Manhattan overwhelmed by neon and chaos. It sprung from reality into fantasy in just a day and a half. VH1 later listed at number 78 among the 100 greatest 80s one-hit wonders. But why did this brilliant showstopper vanish despite such blaze? That secret waits right around the corner. Next up at number 14, LeRoux. Nobody Said It Was Easy, Looking for the Lights.
For the lights, somewhere that's shining, looking for the lights.
A Louisiana band drops a heartfelt ballad, and suddenly everyone else fades. In 1982, Baton Rouge's LeRoux, once known as Louisiana's LeRoux, releases Last Safe Place, their fourth album, peaking at number 64 on the Billboard 200. From it emerges their only top 20 hit, Nobody Said It Was Easy, peaking at number 18 on the Hot 100, a singular flash in the rock sky. Toni Hazelden, who penned the song, watches it climb week by week. 1982's pop chart peak becomes the band's defining moment. Before that, they toured alongside Heart, Kansas, even Journey, and landed on big TV shows like Solid Gold, but none matched this one-chart thunderbolt. The irony? After having their voices echoed across arenas, they fade, lost to label decisions and shifting trends. Let's dive into number 13, Animotion, Obsession. A song critics nearly dismissed becomes a synth pop obsession. Ever wonder how half a studio budget and costumes from Cleopatra birthed the rock classic? Animotion, not the songwriters, locks in Obsession in October 1984, layering it bit by bit under producer John Ryan's exacting eye. Billboard nods it to number 6 on the Hot 100, number 35 on the dance charts, and the UK crowns it number 5 by June 1985. The video, filmed in a Hollywood mansion once owned by Bugsy Siegel, features Astrid Plain in Elizabeth Taylor's old Cleopatra costume pulled from a friend's costume closet. The songwriters Holly Knight and Michael DeBars created it in 1983. DeBars wrote the lyrics after battling addiction. The music builds around Knight's pulsing bass riffs. MTV, WWE, GTA Vice City, and soap operas all lap it up. Proof of a rare, transcendent pop power. But here's the kicker. Just as their live energy blooms, creative tensions set in. What weird breakup drama followed such a bombshell debut? That's revealed next. Next up, number 12, Gary Numan, Cars. A pale pioneer's robotic hum changes the course of synth rock. What's the odd secret behind that machine-like groove? In 1979, English musician Gary Numan unleashes Cars, a chilling minimalist synth track that zooms to number 1 on the UK singles chart, sells over 1 million copies worldwide, and even reaches number 9 in the US. A shocking feat for electronic sound in its infancy. Influenced by alienation and futurism, Numan's sudden stardom spawns awe and fierce backlash. Fans worship him. Critics split. The track's sparse keyboards and icy vocals redefine the path of electronic music. Yet, at just 21, Numan burns under fame's glare. His next albums falter as audiences shift. But the dystopian anthem endures, used in film, TV, and sampled across generations. What brilliantly ironic twist saved Cars from becoming forgotten? That's your next big reveal. Rolling into number 11, Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Relax.
Relax, don't do it when you wanna go to it. Relax, don't do it.
A taboo-fueled chant explodes. Ever wonder how censorship can skyrocket a song to superstardom? In late 1983, Liverpool band Frankie Goes to Hollywood dropped their debut single, Relax, a provocative anthem drenched in sexual innuendo. Producer Trevor Horn transforms their edgy demo into full-blown spectacle with heavy synths and cheeky sound effects. After a bold Top of the Pops performance in January 1984, the BBC bans the track, and sales soar as Rebellion bites. It rockets to number 1 in the UK for 5 weeks, selling over 2 million copies, becoming one of Britain's top-selling singles ever. Meanwhile, in the US, after climbing from number 70 in January 1985 to number 10 on the Billboard Hot 100, it earns gold status by year's start. Their t-shirts, Frankie Says Relax, fly off racks, 250,000 sold within months. From rebellious Liverpool to global altars, they're suddenly pop titans. What explosive strategy came next when they turned controversy into chart-dominating success? Now stepping into number 10, Kajagoogoo, Too Shy.
Too shy, shy, hush, hush, I do I. Too shy, shy.
A A shy whisper turns into the anthem of 1983. How did a waiting job singer ignite a pop firestorm? Kajagoogoo's debut single Too Shy, released on January 10th, 1983, skyrockets to number 1 on the UK singles chart, holding that top spot for 2 weeks while spending 13 weeks in the top 100. It dances across Europe, number 1 in Germany, Belgium, Ireland, number 2 in Switzerland and France, number 4 in Sweden, Austria, Netherlands, even number 5 on the US Billboard Hot 100, a rare feat for a UK synth pop band. Limahl, the frontman, joins after responding to a band ad and meets Duran Duran's Nick Rhodes in a club. Rhodes co-produces the track, and a 10,000-pound gear boost transforms their sound. Despite critics dragging them, Paul Gambaccini's praise in a Channel 4 broadcast launched them to superstardom. Proof that critics can't bury what audiences embrace. But why did such explosive fame fade so quickly? That secret is simmering behind the next chord. Sliding into number 9, Bow Wow Wow, I Want Candy.
I want candy. I want candy.
When a neon-haired teen belts a candy craving, why does MTV glue audiences to the screen? In 1982, Bow Wow Wow, sculpted by manager Malcolm McLaren and fronted by 14-year-old Annabella Lewin, release a cover of I Want Candy. It peaks at number 9 on the UK singles chart, staying on the list for 8 weeks. In the US, even though it barely scrapes number 62 on the Billboard Hot 100, MTV spots vibrations and spins the video heavily, launching the band into cult icon status. Their buzzing energy, tribal drums, and Lewin's golden voice become symbolic. I Want Candy appears on VH1's list for 80s classics and one-hit wonders alike. But beneath the glossy sheen of MTV fame, internal tensions crack the band apart within months. What explosive fallout comes next? The story's just getting started. Now spinning into number 8, Honeymoon Suite, New Girl Now. A Canadian spark that briefly lit up US radio. Ever wonder how a band from Niagara Falls almost stormed the world? In 1984, Honeymoon Suite released New Girl Now, their debut single off their self-titled album. With a mix of guitar crunch and glossy 80s polish, the track climbed to number 57 on the Billboard Hot 100 in the US, while earning heavy rotation on MTV thanks to its energetic video. Back home in Canada, it became a defining anthem of the decade, cementing the band's status north of the border. The song was reportedly written in just a single night by frontman Johnny D after a breakup, and its raw urgency resonated. They opened for bands like Heart and ZZ Top, but despite a loyal Canadian following and modest US chart action, they never cracked the American mainstream again. Still, New Girl Now lives on in pop culture, appearing in shows like Miami Vice and even Trailer Park Boys. It's proof that sometimes the right song makes you unforgettable, even if just once on the global stage. Jumping into number 7, Toni Basil, Mickey. A high school cheerleader uniform becomes a global rallying cry. Ever wonder how one chant exploded into cultural history? Toni Basil releases Mickey on January 3rd, 1982. It starts slow, debuting at number 83 on the US Billboard Hot 100 in early September, then rockets into the top 40 in just 5 weeks. By mid-December, it's sitting at number 1 for 1 week, ultimately selling over 2 million copies in the US alone. In the UK, it peaks at number 2, staying in the charts for 12 weeks, a run nearly faded without the cheerleading angle. Toni choreographs and directs the video herself, including her actual high school cheer uniform, then watches it light up MTV. But here's the twist. Despite this smash, her music career fizzles and she makes her real mark behind the camera, later choreographing for Bowie, Talking Heads, and even Quentin Tarantino. How did she swap pop star dreams for backstage legends? That pivot is up next. Gliding into number 6, Aha, Take On Me. A pencil sketch animation and a falsetto nearly changed pop forever. Did you know a video transformed unknowns into legends? The first version, released in 1984, flops, but when Aha revamps and reissues it in 1985 with a stunning rotoscope video by director Steve Barron, the song climbs to number 2 in the UK and number 1 on the US Billboard Hot 100 on October 19, 1985, all propelled by MTV Love. The video takes 4 intense months and over 3,000 hand-drawn frames to create, a groundbreaking effort that earned 6 MTV Video Music Awards in 1986. Fast forward to today. It's the first 80s video to surpass 1 billion YouTube views, now over 2 billion, locking its legacy forever. But while that song soared, internal dynamics and creative clashes clouded the band's follow-up journey. What creative crossroads did they face next? You'll find out soon. Climbing into number 5, A Flock of Seagulls, I Ran So Far Away. A swirling synth riff crashes like waves in your ears. Ever wonder how a Liverpool band borrowed sci-fi to conquer Aussie charts? On March 5th, 1982, A Flock of Seagulls dropped I Ran So Far Away. The song surges to number 1 in Australia, reaches number 9 on the US Billboard Hot 100, and captures pop fans globally with its shimmering guitar and alienated echoes. In the US, it also hits number 3 on the mainstream rock chart and grabs number 8 on Dance Club Play. Their debut album rides the wave, topping charts in Australia and breaking the top 10 in the US and New Zealand. MTV seizes upon their moody video, thrusting them into the second British invasion. Yet despite winning a Grammy in 1983 for their instrumental DNA, the Flock never soars this high again. What unexpected ripple dimmed their future after such a brilliant debut? That storm is about to roll in next. Now soaring at number 4, Dexys Midnight Runners, Come On Eileen. A fiddle-laced chant defies walls and charts. What makes a song about Eileen feel like a cultural thunderbolt? Released in the UK in June 1982, Come On Eileen drinks from Celtic soul and pop energy. It hits number 1 on the UK singles chart, becoming the UK's best-selling single of the year. In the US, it stops Michael Jackson's Billie Jean from a second straight week at the top, reaching number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in April 1983. It also snags number 6 on the US Top Tracks chart and collects Brit Award for Best British Single in 1983. It also snags number 6 on the US Top Tracks chart and collects Brit Award for Best British Single in 1983. Everything, from Kevin Rowland's snarling vocals to the Tura Lee chant, feels physically contagious, a storm in every chorus. Yet, for a brand proud of soul roots and athletic rehearsals, this mega hit becomes a burden as much as a blessing. What drama unfolds when the song that makes you also nearly breaks you? That twist is just beyond the next verse. Now diving into number 3, Kicks, Don't Close Your Eyes. A hair metal anthem meant to lift hearts dealt with shadows. Did you know this power ballad confronted suicide head-on? On May 12, 1989, Kix releases Don't Close Your Eyes from their 4th album, Blow My Fuse. It climbs to a surprising number 11 on the Billboard Hot 100, marking their only top 40 hit and sealing their one-hit wonder fate. The album later goes platinum in 2000. Written by bassist Donnie Purnell with Bob Halligan Jr. and John Palumbo, the song's emotional punch lies in its real subject, encouraging someone not to give up on life, a shockingly deep theme for glam metal. Guitarist Brian Forsyth reflects that few expected such depth from the genre, and fans still recount how it resonated across late-night radio. But despite its heartfelt message and chart surge, the band never replicated the magic. What quiet fracture followed this heartfelt anthem? That twist inches closer. Spinning into number 2, Soft Cell, Tainted Love. A haunting synth beat turned a forgotten soul track into global obsession. But what secret power fueled its record-breaking chart life? In 1981, the UK synth-pop duo Soft Cell, Mark Almond and David Ball, transformed Gloria Jones's little-known 1965 Northern Soul B-side into Tainted Love, topping the UK singles chart for 2 weeks and earning the 1982 Brit Award for Single of the Year. The song explodes globally, hitting number 8 on the US Billboard Hot 100 in 1982 and setting a then record with a jaw-dropping 43 weeks on the chart. The moody synths and Almond's voice made it pop iconography, and its influence ripples decades later in Rihanna's SOS sample and countless covers. Yet this global smash also bows to nostalgia. Soft Cell's fame peaks quickly, and they dissolve by 1984, leaving you wondering, what pressures struck such a vibrant pair so swiftly? That secret drops next. Finally, number 1, Cutting Crew, I Just Died in Your Arms.
I just died in your arms tonight. Must have been something to say.
A line scribbled on wallpaper erupts into a global anthem. What's the secret behind that unforgettable power ballad? In July 1986, Cutting Crew's frontman Nick Van Eede writes, I Just Died in Your Arms, inspired by a late-night reconciliation driven by guilt. He penned the lyrics on wallpaper, then recorded a demo in just 3 days. The song rockets globally, number 1 in the US, Canada, Finland, and Norway. Top 5 across Ireland, UK, Sweden, and West Germany. In the US, its ascent on Billboard begins in March and peaks at number 1 for 2 weeks on May 2nd, 1987. Producer Terry Brown reworked the recording after Van Eede threatened to quit over the initial take, salvaging the magic in a last-minute rescue. And that harmony? The tone-perfect touch came from his school friend Pete Birch, booked for 4 minutes of studio time and delivered perfection. Their debut album, Broadcast, then becomes Virgin's first US release, with multiple follow-up singles reaching top 10, but none reproduced that one electrifying moment. It's a tale of lightning striking and watching it glow long after. Thanks for rocking through the memory lane. If you loved uncovering these 20 forgotten one-hit wonders, don't stop here. Check out more of our wild 80s deep dives. Hit like, smash subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a beat.